Hello everybody, welcome to my Guild Wars 2 Permadeath series. My name is FarShot. This will be my attempt at a permadeath challenge for my favorite MMO, Guild Wars 2. One death and it's over, back to the start. I've been a casual player of Guild Wars 2 since launch, so I know a lot about the game, but I'm not necessarily the best. Actually, I would say I'm not even that good. This is a little scary for me to be doing, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun, so let's get into it. If you're wanting to do something like this for yourself, I hope you can take some of my strategies and they will help you out. Conversely, I hope you can learn from my failures. Or you can just sit back and enjoy. I hope you like it. Here we go. Let's get into character creation. Humans, a little boring. Norn, just as boring, just a little thicker. Sylvari. Sylvari are like the vegan option on a menu. Everyone knows it's not as good. Char. Still not forgiven. But I'm thinking for this first run, only run, I'm going with Asura. And is there a more fitting class for a permadeath challenge than the Master of Death? We're gonna have to go with Necromancer. I think this is a reasonably smart choice. Necros have the highest vitality of the light armor classes and can use Death Shroud as an oh poop button for sticky situations. I gotta go with male because I love the voice actor. Let's just take a second to go through the rules of this challenge. Obviously, rule number 1 is delete character upon death. No compass. Level appropriate maps. No XP boosters, food is okay. Parties are acceptable. Let's keep the teammates at a similar level. Let's try to keep our friends within 5 or 10 levels of us. No gliders or mounts. I'm limiting myself to 1 crafting discipline. I feel like if I have more than that, it'll feel a little cheesy. You can literally make it to level 80 just from crafting and not seeing any combat. Except for the combat that's forced upon you at the very beginning of the game. One rule that I don't have on here, and it's not really a rule, but I think when I die, which is going to happen, my new character will not be the same race and likely not be the same profession, just to keep it fresh. That's already taken. That's already taken. That's already taken. Zerak. That's already taken. That's already taken. That's already taken. Okay. That's already taken. Woo! Introducing Zarek. I'm super excited to be doing this. I say that now, let's see how I'm feeling after I have to delete one of my characters. I think if I avoid becoming complacent for the first 30 levels or so, it should be easy. Most of the open world enemies can be cleaved through without issue. I just need to make sure I do not over aggro. Like I said, level 1 to 30 I feel like is not going to be super challenging. After level 30 I think the challenge will start setting in. At that point I need to be super careful about my playstyle. My playstyle is typically pretty aggressive, so it's going to be difficult to pull that back. So one of the reasons I wanted to do this is I've leveled several characters in this game, probably, no, I don't even know the number, but I've never tried to do this before, so I think this is a new way for me to keep the game fresh and leveling a character. It just adds that extra layer of tension to areas that might not actually be very hard, because Guild Wars really isn't that much of a punishing game. It's pretty forgiving in almost every regard. Death really doesn't have that much of a consequence. Yeah, you get like broken armor, but who cares? You just go to an anvil and you fix it for free. It's not that big of a deal. Especially when you're leveling, you're probably replacing the armor anyway, so not a big deal at all. This is death has a huge consequence. You die, it's over. So you need to focus on your combat and make sure that you're playing the game well. My leveling strategy I don't think is going to be super complicated. I'm just going to map complete like I normally would. I'm also going to be killing mobs that I don't believe have been killed in a while. So if you're not familiar, in this game, if you kill a mob that has not been killed in a while, you get bonus XP. And that bonus XP is scaled based on the amount of time that that mob has been alive. So if I go into an area where there's a bunch of ambient mobs, the mobs with like the little yellow titles above their head, those, it seems like people typically don't kill because the game does not incentivize you to kill them besides the bonus XP. But it doesn't go towards, you know, progressing in a heart or anything like that, so a lot of players just skip them. So I'm going to use that to my advantage and kill those and get a bunch of XP, because my main goal is to get to level 80 without dying, and I'll be progressing hearts and doing map completion to be getting to that point. But map completing and that kind of stuff is not the end goal. The end goal is the levels, so that's more important to me. One thing that I might skip out on are vistas. If I don't think the risk is going to be worth the XP I'm going to get from the vista, I'll just skip it. Again, if you don't know, vistas are achieved after completing a short mini jumping puzzle, typically. So a lot of them can be completed without much risk of death, but if I think it's going to be too hard or the risk of me falling to my death is too high, I'm just going to skip it. No reason to risk death for a few XP. So this lake here that we're coming up to, this lake, I don't know why, sticks out in my mind a lot, but this lake brings me back to when the betas were live, and for whatever reason, I probably didn't spend that much time in this lake, but it was such a key moment. It was the first probably underwater combat, maybe that's why. Like, if you were Guild Wars 1 player, there was no underwater combat, there was no jumping, nothing like that. So going into a Guild Wars game where there was underwater combat, it was kind of a big moment. Like, it seems kind of silly saying that now, but at the time it was like, oh my god, we're underwater, it's awesome. Remember playing this with my friend, who both him and I were just super pumped, and it was really cool. I think we were fighting the Inquest here. Since then, I think ArenaNet has stripped that from the game. You don't have a heart here anymore. They don't want you doing underwater combat, I guess, this early in the game. You do it later on in this map, not that much later on, but I guess they felt like it's too early to throw new underwater skills onto a new player. It's kind of cool thinking back to the betas and what it was like playing the game back then. I remember being so hyped for this game. I was in high school at the time. I somehow convinced my parents to let me leave school early when the servers were going to be live. Inevitably, the servers were not live at that time, so I ended up sitting around waiting for the servers to become live. I could have waited until after school to hop on, and I still would have gotten on. It was actually a big deal. Me and my buddy were planning on both doing it. Both parents agreed, and it was going to work out. It was going to be great. He was going to meet at my place. We had it all worked out. I left school, and then I text him, and I was like, hey man, where you at? I'm at home, I'm waiting on you. He was sitting in history, and then he keeps getting texts from me, and I'm calling him, and I'm texting him, and I'm like, what the heck is going on, man? The teacher finds him, sees that his phone, takes his phone from him, and then it was a big thing. Like, they thought we were selling drugs together or something weird. I don't know, it was a huge deal, but the school eventually figured it out that we weren't doing anything, and we were just nerds, and we just wanted to play a video game. So I need to be starting to think of strategies. With this Necro, I think just being able to have Death Shroud is going to be a huge advantage. As soon as as soon as the butt cheek starts clenching, I just hit that Death Shroud button, and then I get an extra bar of health. I mean, for the people who don't know or are unfamiliar, so in this game, Necromancers have a profession, unique skill called Death Shroud. It gives you a completely new set of attack skills, but also it replaces your health bar with your Death Shroud bar or your Life Force bar. You get Life Force from killing things or having things die around you. It's the little green orbs you might see that just kind of that you kind of absorb, and then it fills up that green bar. And then when you go into Death Shroud, when you take damage to that Life Force bar. You also use that Life Force bar when you use skills. So you can't stay in it for just forever. You do have a limited amount of time, but you can go into Death Shroud pretty frequently, so there's going to be several times where Death Shroud's going to save me. One thing that I'm really enjoying in this run so far is not having a compass. It completely changes the way I play this game. I spend so much time normally staring at the compass in the game, making sure that I'm efficiently going to the next point of interest, efficiently going to the next heart, efficiently going to the next vista, or whatever it is. Without that compass there, I can actually look around at at the game, what's going on around me, you know. And yeah, I have some knowledge of where to go and what the most efficient routes might be to map complete for these first maps especially. But still, I'm still able to look around, look at the scenery, look at some ambient mobs that I might want to go take out because I don't think anyone's taken them out in a while. Get some XP from them. But yeah, it's great. I really suggest if you're playing this game and you're looking for a way to make it feel fresh, just turn that compass off and see how it makes it feel for you. All right, there's level 10 right there. So far, so good. All right, guys, we got Zarek to level 10. I think this is a good spot to bookmark this here. The challenge level so far is super low, but it's only gonna get harder. But so far, I'm having a great time with this. Thank you for watching. Bonus points if you made it to the end. If you've made it this far, you might as well hit that like button, leave a comment if you want to chat, and I will talk to you again in the next one. See ya. Ow. Oh my god, Prince Rurik, shut up. I need this cutscene for the stupid joke. Oh, oh my god. Alright, quiet! Action! Let's get into character creation.